and we are taking another look at what's going on in Washington.
I'm going to speak plainly and honestly about what's happened here, because the American people are trying to figure out how can something have 90% support and yet not happen.
Now, President Barack Obama addressed the Senate today as he talked about gun control legislation. What happened today is that the Senate took a vote in the bill, and there was an amendment to extend background checks. And as they looked at those amendments and looked at what could happen and should happen, the Senate decided not to do it. It was just about an hour ago. And again, the Senate blocked the new gun control legislation. Now, that amendment talked about having that a special background check for gun shows and online checks. And that, again, failed to pass in the United States Senate. There were 54 votes, but that does not include a filibuster-proof majority. Now, tonight here, we had a chance to, or we'll be speaking to someone who is a Second Amendment advocate. Bill Bunting is the chairman of the Second Amendment group in the Republican Party of Florida. Bill, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight. And my question is, what do you think about this, the fact that this bill was defeated in the Senate?
Well, I'm glad the bill was defeated in the Senate because Mr. Obama isn't being very truthful. There are laws in place already as to the background check. People know that they can't sell a handgun in their own state unless it's a resident in that state. They have a responsibility to ask if they're a felon, and they should make a copy of their driver's license. So there's laws on the books, and secondly, the law that's most important, the background check through dealers, is on the books, the 4473. And if you were to go into a gun shop up in Tallahassee and you filled out your form and you checked felon and you got rejected for your firearm, that's where it ends. They don't come out to see who was the felon, who tried to purchase the gun, and how they continue to enforce the law. So they're not doing that anywhere in the United States.
Now, tell me, and because of this law, I mean, there are people, the advocates, who are coming out and saying, well, hey, wait a minute, this is going to apply to assault weapons, and we really need to know who has it. What about those people who are saying this is not the right thing to do? Because there are those who are saying they're going to come after the senators that did not vote to favor this bill, because according to a CNN ORC poll, they said about 80% of the country thinks that this legislation should have been passed.
You know, that's an interesting perception. I keep hearing 80% of the country. I'm calling in to you from the middle of the state, from Pasco County. I chair the Second Amendment for the Republican Party. I don't know where that number come from or how the question was skewed. I don't see it down here, and I know I certainly don't do it. I travel to gun shows from Pensacola to Miami and right along your coast, Fort Walton Beach, Panama City, Tallahassee at the fairgrounds, Jacksonville. I cover them all, and I don't see that happening. So I don't know where they did their polling. Did they do it in Broward County?
And you know, again, I'm not sure of that, but I know they were saying, again, that this is something that they were pushing for. But we'll follow this issue. Obviously, according to the president today, this is not the end of it, and they're going to move forward. Again, thank you so much. Bill Bunting with the Republican Party of Florida's Second Amendment Coalition, and we'll be checking back in with Bill as well. Again, thank you.